Okay, Pops.
Yes?
We're going to be answering the age-old question.
I can't wait. What exactly is the age-old question?
I told you, we're supposed to, in the first 5 seconds, tell people what the video is about, and you just...
Okay. Go ahead.
The age-old question.
Oh, the age-old question of why do people lease a BMW?
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously what? Why do they?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's different manufacturers. Like there's 32 or 33 major OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, different brands in the United States.
Yes.
And when you think about BMWs, they're aspirational for a lot of people my age, like in their 20s and early 30s.
Yes.
But everyone leases them.
Yes.
Why? And what does that do for the brand? And is it... Oh, I'm having all these questions come to my head.
Oh my God! Do you
so you got to answer why does it? What does it do for the brand? And like,
well, where do you want me to start?
Let me ask my third question.
Okay.
You have a good memory.
Yeah. It's just really, really short. I forgot the first two questions.
And the other luxury brands, are they also as lease heavy? So why do people lease so many BMWs?
Okay, so there's a couple theories. Now, people who tend to lease more expensive luxury brands, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, the reason they do it is because they understand the concept of it is better to lease things that depreciate and only be paying for the portion of the depreciation that you're using than it is to buy things that depreciate. You want to try to acquire, what's the word I'm looking for? Appreciating assets. And a car is not one of those.
So is part of what you're saying, like, the people that end up owning or buying or leasing these types of vehicles are maybe, like, financially...
more savvy?
Yeah, but I hate to say that because I know so many people watching this are going to be like, Dave Ramsey says buy a car and drive it for 38 years. And,
yeah, but that's Dave Ramsey. And Dave Ramsey is going to appeal to the people that he appeals to.
And his advice is right.
Yes.
Like Uncle Kenny.
Nobody is disputing whether what he is saying is right or wrong.
Yeah, let's not make this about Dave Ramsey.
Okay, what we need to talk about is what makes the most sense for people who want to drive luxury vehicles. And since so many of those people have attained a higher level of success or a higher level of education in their lives, they understand the concept that it doesn't make sense to buy things that depreciate. It makes more sense to lease things that depreciate, which is why businesses lease as many things as they can.
I know, but at the same time, like, isn't there a whole subset of people who, I'm thinking more my age people, Dad, that come in and they want a BMW and they can't really afford it, but they realize, oh, leasing it, my monthly payment's going to be a little lower. Like, is that another reason why there's so many BMW leases?
Yeah, but my suspicion would be, and this is strictly a suspicion, is that if you look at the median age of people who are actually leasing BMWs, it's going to be higher than your age group.
I'm trying to think of the difference between the mean, median, and mode right now. Median. So that... Okay, I get you. But okay, so point number one is you're saying some financial savvy folks want to lease instead of buy.
Might be a tad more sophisticated as to how it is they allocate their money on a monthly basis.
We did not pre-screen this one, so I was not expecting my dad to say that. I am very intrigued once this goes live to read the comments.
About?
I don't know if people agree with you. Because a lot of people think that leasing is not financially savvy to begin with. But I don't disagree. I understand where you're coming from. I'm just very intrigued now.
You asked me a question. Why do people lease BMWs? I'm trying to give you the answer, and you just want to argue with me about it. Because the people out there are going to say, well, yeah, but that's not the smart thing.
I like when you do that with your shoulders.
Yeah, well, that's because I'm bouncy today. So the point is that it allows people to get a more expensive vehicle for a less expensive payment, and they're only paying for the portion of it that they're using.
I'm biting my lip.
Which is why they're leasing it. Okay? And then the other reason that I think is a more important reason to lease a BMW rather than buy it is because a BMW's warranty is 4 years or 50,000 miles.
I know that's Audi. I thought BMW was 336, but either way, yeah.
It's 4 years or 50,000 miles, and it includes maintenance other than brakes. And I think, what's that other thing? Windshield wipers. So if you lease it, you have you're very limited as to what any of your maintenance costs could be. Okay. You're always under the factory warranty. And the reputation for BMWs is the moment they're out of factory warranty is the moment that something will break and it's going to be overly expensive to fix it.
Yep.
So smart people just say, I'm in for 3 years. I don't need the aggravation beyond 3 years if I'm going to own or drive a BMW or an Audi or a Mercedes-Benz.
Yep.
So I think that is a more important reason.
I thought that was the one you're going to start with, because that's what I was looking for, is like, well, they break, and after 3 years, and you're not... Because the other one doesn't resonate as much with me, Dad. Like,
I'm sorry it doesn't resonate with you, but it resonates with the doctors and the lawyers and the dentists and everybody else whose accountants have told them to put it into their business practice's name so they can get a greater write-off on their taxes.
Well, it's not a greater write-off, but they can charge it as a business expense. No, trust me, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah,
and then I think
someday you'll operate under those same terms.
Knock on wood, man. Although I will never own a BMW, nor do I'm not BMW.
No,
anyway,
because you have always wanted an AMG 63.
But regardless of my wants, needs, or desires, I think there is that third cohort, which are people who aspire for these luxury cars, like someone like myself, who doesn't necessarily have enough money to buy one, and they see it as an option to lease, and it's cheaper.
Yes.
But you're renting something for 3 years rather than owning it.
Yeah, but if you're buying it, you're still making payments over the 3 years, and at the end of 3 years, in most cases, you still have 2 more or 3 more years of payments to make.
No, and as a young person who doesn't have a lot of wealth created yet, I just want the lowest monthly payments. That's all I'm trying to say is my theory as to why, one component of why there's so many BMWs that are leased is the younger generation that can't actually afford a 5-year note on a BMW. So they say, oh, well, let me just lease something. It's a lower monthly payment. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, the other reason people lease them is because the manufacturers encourage it by subventing or the value of the vehicle at the end of the lease. They artificially prop up.
So let's talk about that. What impact does such a lease-heavy brand have on the BMW nameplate or the used car market?
It brings the buyers back into the dealerships every 3 years. So if you've leased somebody a car, that 36 months from now, they need to do something about that.
So is it kind of fair to say, like, obviously with the economy brands, Toyota, Kia, Hyundai, etc., Mazda, like, they're volume players, right? They just move as many units as possible. It's kind of like BMW's the same, in the way that they sustain it is by leasing.
Yes, that's what Mercedes does, and that's what Audi does. But BMW and Mercedes are probably in the 55 to 65% of all vehicles sold are actually leased. Which is the way they want it, because they want to bring those customers back. And the way that they've designed these lease programs where they artificially inflate the residual values so that the depreciation is less, so the payments can be lower, is that they force their dealers to buy back those lease cars at the end of the lease. They're only allowed to turn away X number of lease cars that come back.
Interesting.
So if they can artificially inflate the residual values and they can force their dealer body to have to buy the car when it comes back, I don't know, it seems like a pretty safe bet for BMW.
Yeah, it's a great business model for the OEM.
Yes. Wow. And it's a great business model for the dealerships because it brings the customers back into the marketplace every 3 years. If you're in a new car franchise business, do you want to see your customer, I don't know, once every 10 to 12 years or once every 3 years?
Yeah, exactly. No, I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
So that's why.
Interesting.
I don't know how interesting it is. We will be able to tell by the comments that we get as to how interesting it may or may not be.
Would you ever own a BMW versus lease it?
Absolutely not.
All right. Just want to make sure.
I wouldn't own a Mini. I drive a Mini. I love my Mini.
Never would you own it?
Never would I own a Mini. Never would I buy a Mini. I would only lease a Mini so that I have the option of driving the car strictly while it's under warranty and with maintenance that's provided by Mini. And that's the only way I would ever drive a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz or an Audi.
Yep.
Okay, because I don't want to be the poor schnook that's on the hook when the warranty's over and the transmission drops out. I'm not interested in being that guy.
If you're interested in learning more about leasing, we have Deal School back at yourautoadvocate.com, a section on leasing. We have multiple videos. Search YouTube, Your Auto Advocate Leasing. And then also, of course, if you're going to work a car deal, use Your Auto Advocate. Go back to the website, take a peek there. Pops, I appreciate your take on BMW. This was compelling.
I'm sure the good folks at BMW don't appreciate it, but I'm glad you do. Yeah. And I hope our audience and our community does.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.